I want you guys to pay attention to this particular interview where she's on Michael Knowles' show, a very famous tradcon man, and he's gonna say something crazy. But I want you guys to pay attention.
There should be mandatory DNA testing at birth.
No.
I don't know why you, okay.
Because it's calling my wife a whore to do that. I mean, it's ridiculous.
Why? Okay,
because
so women,
the assumption of first of all, mandatory, good grief, but the premise of it is that my wife is sleeping around.
Okay, so
I'm quite confident my wife is not sleeping around.
The woman feels icky for a little bit, but then
the man feels I feel quite icky.
Hey, the woman feels icky for a little bit. Fine, maybe the man feels icky.
Certainly,
but it prevents men from being put on child support and raising kids that aren't theirs.
You're saying
and if people want to opt out of it, fine, you can opt out.
So it's not mandatory,
but
it's voluntary. But it is voluntary. Yes.
I think it would be better if it was mandatory. I think that's a better.
So then the men can opt out.
Oh my gosh, there should be mandatory DNA testing at birth.
Yep.
This is why what she's saying is facts, but this is why I don't like it when they bring up Pearly to debate, because she really can't back up our talking points. We can. Because all I would have to say that all I would tell Michael Knowles is this, because this is funny to me. Michael Knowles this is a funny ninja. Hold on for a sec. He said, "You saw the movie Her? The AI will take a tradcon sexless husband." Facts. They know this. They know this. This is why I'd be laughing when like these AI girlfriends. I'm like, you scared of an AI bitch taking your husband? Or I mean, that means you ain't doing your job. That means you ain't doing your job. You ain't doing your job. Say Pearl and Tate are controlled opposition in these spaces. Exactly. This is what I believe. Pearl and Tate were controlled opposition. Now, technically, Kevin Samuels kind of was, but the reason why I leave Kevin Samuels alone is not because of his death, but because he actually was a great debater. I believe Kevin Samuels was probably the best in terms of women couldn't just call him on, like women, like women shows and like women center shows. They avoided calling Kevin Samuels on their show, like inviting him on his show to debate, because Kevin Samuels was the best at it. Because what people don't understand when you're particularly when you are debating women, which you should not be doing anyway as a man, but when you are debating women, people think that as a man, by you using logic and reason to debate a woman, you already lost. People don't get this. Kevin Samuels was the best at basically letting a woman hang herself by just letting them talk, asking specific questions, making sure that they don't veer off, not letting them use sign language, not letting them just go off on their own. He'd be like, "No, what's your dress size? How much you weigh? What's your income? How many kids you have?" And then anytime they start, no, stay here, don't interrupt me. That's what Kevin Samuels was really good at. So technically, Kevin Samuels was kind of like that because Kevin Samuels was the guy that basically that algorithm allowed him to move up in the game. But what I liked about Kevin Samuels, that you couldn't just debate Kevin Samuels because he had all the facts, he had all the statistics, and he was very, very stringent, very disciplined on his game. He was like all the female shaming tactically that did not work on Kevin Samuels, and this is why a lot of black men, particularly that are new in this space, look at Kevin Samuels like he's a god, because they just never. A lot of black men literally grew up never seeing a black man winning a debate against a black woman. So Kevin Samuels was probably like the first black man they ever seen win like a talking match or win a debate with a woman. But like I said, as a man, you're not even supposed to be debating with women at all anyways, but that's just my opinion. But this is why I always give Kevin Samuels a bit of a pass. And on top of that, I always knew of Kevin Samuels because I followed O'Shea Duke Jackson for like since I think, yeah, since 2017 or 2016, I've been following O'Shea Duke Jackson, and O'Shea Duke Jackson had a lot of people under him that I knew about. So it's just so I always give Kevin Samuels a pass on that, and that he was a very good role model for black men to look up to. But Pearly and Tate, that's what you call controlled opposition. But now let's get into what Michael Knowles said. Talking about, I'm just confident the kid is, or I'm just off like what Michael Knowles, he's saying something that a woman would say. It's reverse. It's in reverse. Here you have a woman saying we should have mandatory paternity testing, and you have a man saying, nah, I don't know, or I'm calling my wife a whore. No, it's not about that. I mean, bruh. Like, I always say this, because I don't even want to bring up the facts about the 30% or what we talk about child support, signing your name on the certificate and whatnot. And on top of that, Michael Knowles here. This is why he called Pearly to debate about this stuff, because he could just talk over her, make her look stupid, and because she's a woman. So that's why he did that. That's why Hafiz, after he got that roasting by Coach Greg Adams, he went and had a debate with Pearl literally the next day. They just wanted to beat up on a woman. That's a whole nother story for another day. Anyways, forget all that. I like to give people a visual representation. I'll be like Michael Knowles. All right, I'll call your bluff. We don't need mandatory paternity testing. Fine. Now, Michael Knowles, what happens when the kid? Hold on. I got you guys. I'm gonna give you a nice visual right here. Oh man. Hold on for a second. Oh man, I got you guys. You guys gonna be laughing like a motherfucker. You guys gonna be laughing. You guys are gonna be crying laughing when you see this. Now, Michael Knowles, I have this to say. You talk about, oh, we don't need mandatory paternity testing. I know it's my kid and all this stuff. Oh, I'm just calling my wife. Okay, I'll call your bluff. Fine. Now, what if the baby comes out looking like this? Out of your white wife. What are you gonna say then? You gonna still sign that birth certificate, brother? That baby comes out looking like this. You gonna keep that same energy? Look at my son that I didn't have to take a paternity test on. This is my son. Are you still gonna have that same energy? I fucking doubt it, because I know how you tradcons think. I know what gets your attention anytime. Because I know you're not signing that birth certificate if that baby come out looking like this. But at the same, like you said, no paternity test. This comes to now where I really have to call into the integrity of the tradcons, right? Red Pill Luffy on Twitter, he said this. He said something very controversial, but I believe him. He said a lot of men, he said, I believe even most men, I think they would not mind, they don't really actually mind being cucked as long as the baby is the same skin tone. And I was like, you know what? I think I agree with this, because the amount of virtue signaling I've seen from traditional conservative men when it comes to paternity testing, I'm like, are you guys serious? But I've seen it, but particularly Caucasian tradcon men, I like to pick at them at this. I'm like, so okay, you're not gonna push for paternity testing, but at the same time, they're pushing into laws. Oh, we got to give pregnant women what they say, we got to give them child support starting at the pregnancy. I'm like, without a paternity test? But I know good and damn well they're not taking care of a baby if it comes out looking like that. I know that. I know they're not going to do that. They're not going to do it. They're not going to do it. But like I said, if you really standing on what you say, it should be no biggie. You know, you don't need a paternity test, right? But I know that first of all, Michael Knowles, if that happened to him, he's gonna kill his wife. This is what happens. You got these blue pill dudes, right? Particularly the tradcons, who people mistakenly consider them RP aware, and they do the virtue signaling, just like liberals do the same virtue signaling, all that shit, until ninjas start hitting up their bitch, or like you'll hear like the stories of the guys that thought their wives were good people and whatnot, that all of a sudden the baby comes out my skin color, and they're just like, what in the hell? And it's just like the reality kicks in real quick. Your girl belongs to the fucking streets. I don't care where she come from, what family, bruh. So this man, I knew you guys were gonna like that. I'm telling you, if his baby comes out looking like this, he's gonna kill his wife. This is the problem. He's gonna kill his wife if his baby comes out looking like that. I know these blue pill people. I know how these people work. Guys, here I am. I'm trying to help these ninjas out. We got a woman on here. This is going against her biological imperative. Mind you, I'm not a fan of pearly things at all. And she's like, bro, we need mandatory paternity tests. And here you got this dude here, virtue signaling. Here again.
I don't know why okay.
It's calling my wife a whore to do that. I mean, it's ridiculous.
Why? Okay,
because the assumption of the man.
So right here, just by him saying that, and I'll be like, no. I'll be like, when in history have men I'll just literally just say this. Why did men request virginity at marriage? Why did they do that? Because that was literally the only way that that was not really a clear-cut way, but that was the only way they can determine paternity, meaning they can know, okay, the kid that's come, I'm the first person to have sex with her. So the likelihood that the kid coming out that she ends up being pregnant with is going to be my kid. That was the only way they could ensure it. So much so they would literally get the virgin girls back in the day, right? They would be high. I'm talking about kings would literally buy the virgins, have them guarded by eunuchs, big men with their dicks cut off. That's how much that was so important to make sure the kid coming out is theirs. But there was no, but still, that's still not really a guarantee. That's still not no guarantee because you don't know with the DNA. Now that we have the technology, the DNA, why can't we put men's mind at ease and just make it, look, mandatory paternity testing? But then you got simps like this guy, still doesn't understand that.
First of all, mandatory, good grief. But the premise of it is that my wife is sleeping around.
Okay, so
No, because first of all, there's actually, I know women that have said, look, after what happened to me, finding out that my dad wasn't mine, I told my husband, look, every kid that I have, I'll give you a paternity test. And they do, because it's about putting the man's mind at ease. But it's interesting when it comes to paternity tests, right? It doesn't matter if the girl is a tradcon, if she's a liberal, if she's a Muslim, they be scared of that paternity test thing, bro. I don't know what it is, bro. And the most fight back that I've gotten about this paternity test thing is from tradcon women, supposedly traditional women. Those are the people that have gotten the most fight back from when it comes to this paternity thing. I shit you not. I've talked to two feminists, and they don't mind this. They think that there should be mandatory paternity testing. Feminists, but you'll talk about tradcon women. You know what I mean? It's just, I'm like, and first of all, you're just like, wow. You're just like, wow. It just shows you that women be sleeping around, and way more than people want to admit or care to, because look, if you're not a woman that sleeps around, it should not be a problem. Women have no problem going out of their way to prove a man right. But when it comes to paternity tests, I'm talking about they'll go out their way to prove that they're right, or if a man accuses them of something, they'll hold it on them. So why don't you relieve everybody's doubts? Paternity test. Just do it. And people say, and there's another group of crowd of the RP, like people that follow fuck, I forgot his name. But this old dude with the white hair, he just said he tells men just take the swab and just do it without the woman knowing. And you can do that, but the reason why I advocate for mandatory paternity is because people don't know that once you sign that birth certificate, you're beat. So before you sign that birth certificate, it'll be nice if normie men can have that option. You know what I mean? The same way that normie women have the options to kill their kid, can at least the normie men have the option to find out if the kid is even his? I mean, damn.
The woman feels icky for a little bit, but then
the man feels icky.
Wait. The woman feels icky for a little bit. Fine, maybe the man feels icky.
Surely.
But this is where Pearl made a mistake by addressing how a woman would feel. No. We don't give a fuck about none of that. We don't give a fuck about none of that. This is where you got to stick with the facts and just be on the facts and be like, look, Michael, I'm talking. Let me address the facts of this issue. Then I will allow you to talk. But this is why they bring people like Pearl on there, because they know Pearly cannot debate. And look, women are easily put off if you're literally overbearing on them. You know what I mean? So, and Pearly is not exempt from that. This is why I don't want her being the face of the RP. Like, I remember when she was rising up the ranks in terms, she started really getting famous and people were calling her the queen of the RP. And I was like, guys, don't do this. Particularly, it was black men that were giving her so much praise. And I was like, you guys are the worst. I was like, y'all be exalting these people. Samantha Lee Gibson, Melanie Kings, who else? Allie Drummond, who else? All these people, y'all be pulling up in the air, man. Sorry, I had to have a sip. This is ridiculous, man. It's fucking ridiculous. Anyway.
But it prevents men from being put on child support and raising kids that aren't theirs.
You're saying
and if people want to opt out of it, fine, you can opt out.
So it's not mandatory. But it's voluntary. But there it is voluntary. Yes.
Now, Michael Knowles, what he's doing is something I had to deal with when I was growing up. A debating tactic by just inserting things that don't make sense. You know what I mean? That's just irrelevant from the point. Right here.
So it's voluntary, but there is voluntary. Yes.
I think it would be better if it was mandatory. I think that's a better.
So then the men can opt out.
Oh my gosh.
That's not the point, nigga. Mandatory. Just you take it. Now, like I said, guys like that, I believe. Man, I didn't save that tweet from R Pill Luffy, Red Pill Luffy, but he said men don't mind being cucked. He said most men don't mind being cucked as long as the kid is the same skin tone as him. And I believe that. I'm really starting to believe, because I know good and damn well he would not have this same reaction if his kid came out looking like this. I know he wouldn't. I know he wouldn't. And that woman's life would be in danger. Michael Knowles' wife would be in danger, bro. Because you need to stand. Because now I would tell Michael, if that happened to him, I'd be like, no. You gotta sign that birth certificate. I don't want you taking no tests. But nope. You got to stand on what you said. This is your baby now, Michael. This is your baby. You're going to raise it in the name of the Lord. You got to stand on what you say, brother. You got to stand on what you say. So Pearl says, do you understand how harmful it is to a child to find out halfway through their life that their dad is not their dad? Not only do mandatory DNA tests protect the fathers, but also the child. The facts are more important than your wife's feelings. But like I said, these so-called tradcon men that be now they're dunking on the RP sphere. But that, like I said, they need to go through something traumatic like this, because there's been plenty of white dudes that been through that. They're in the military. For some reason, they think their wife is faithful. They're on the day of the delivery, that baby be coming out looking like Terrell Owens and Chad Ochocinco. And then they're just like, just a shock. But I think that is going to have to happen to men in terms of, so men can understand why we push that. Because if you sign the birth certificate, you're on the hook on that kid, even if it's not yours. This happens to a lot of men.